Welcome. How's everyone doing?
Good? Okay. All right, so I'd like to call to order the February 7th Montgomery County Board of Commissioners meeting. Note the presence of all three board members, and I'd like to have Controller Karen Sanchez lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for being here this morning. I just want to first note that the board had an executive session for the county commissioners that was held on Thursday, February 1st, to discuss potential litigation. First, I want to talk a little bit about our governor's budget presentation that he announced yesterday for the 2024-2025 PA budget. I want to thank and applaud the governor for his commitment to advocating for many key programs and priorities that not only impact the residents of Montgomery County, but all residents across the Commonwealth. His proposed budget advocates for more funding directed to higher education, including community colleges, increased investment in public transit, which would directly benefit all SEPTA riders, strategic investments to enhance economic development in PA, addressing critical housing needs, which would directly fund programs that we administer here, like our homeless, I got distracted here, hi there, homeless assistance program and whole home repairs, adding $16 million in SNAP benefits, leveraging federal funding for childcare, which is important for working families, and other key investments for protecting our most vulnerable, ensuring access to mental health services, protecting the environment, and so much more. As County Commissioner, I will be advocating for our Montgomery County residents and encourage our state delegation to support these items. Next, I want to talk about Black History Month. Since we're in February, it's a real opportunity for us to focus our attention on the contributions of African Americans to the United States and here in Montgomery County. Some of those people and places to celebrate include Camp William Penn in Cheltenham Township, the only training camp during the Civil War for African American soldiers in PA and the largest in the nation. Abolition Hall in Plymouth Meeting was a hub for anti-slavery speakers and a station on the Underground Railroad. Edward Hector from Conshohocken was a private in the 3rd PA Artillery Continental Line and has become symbolic of the many unknown Black soldiers who served in the American Revolution. Dr. Martha Settle Putney, born right here in Norristown, joined the Women's Army Corps in 1943, became a first lieutenant, and eventually commanded a unit of Black medical technicians in Chicago. During her service, Martha was credited for helping to establish policies regarding equality for all members of the armed forces. And lastly, James A. Bland, famous composer of Carry Me Back to Old Virginia and many other songs, was buried in Ballackinwood. I also had the great honor, or have the great honor, of being the first Black woman elected to the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to visit the White House and sit at the table with about 8 other Black leaders from across the country to talk about the issues that are plaguing the Black community across this country. We talked about issues on gun violence, we talked about affordable housing and homelessness crisis, and ways in which we as Montgomery County can optimize some of the reforms and funding that are coming out of the federal government, not just for our Black citizens, but for all residents. And so I'm honored to be the first, and I'd like to also acknowledge other first Black leaders in the county. I'd like to acknowledge Tina Lawson is the first Black woman to be elected as Register of Wills, and Dr. Janine Darby was the first Black woman to be elected as coroner in Montgomery County. So we've come a long way over the last 40 years since I've been a resident of Montgomery County, and the beauty of Montgomery County is our diversity, and so let's take this moment to acknowledge the contributions that our Black friends and neighbors have made for generations to this great county and this great country, but also let's celebrate Black history, not just in February, but every month throughout the course of the year. So I invite all county employees and residents to join us for our first Black History Month celebration as a part of our Black History Month program, which is today, and it begins at 12 p.m. and details are on the screen. Next, I want to mention, I have longer comments today, so I apologize in advance. We are excited to announce our annual launch of the Juneteenth Art Contest for school children throughout Montgomery County. This year's theme is for the Art and Prose of Freedom contest is Hope for a Brighter Tomorrow. We invite all students in Montgomery County, public, private, parochial, or home schools to use their creativity to submit art that embodies hope, celebrates freedom, and inspires action for a better future. Students can submit poetry, a short essay, or works of arts, and entries are due April 7th. Winners will receive $100 gift cards and will be invited to join us at the county's Juneteenth flag raising event. I hope that any parents, art teachers, or English teachers can consider if any of their curricular dovetails with the contest theme, and you can find more information on the county's website /Juneteenth. And lastly, before we move on with our meeting, I want to acknowledge that we've heard from the public about wanting to have more time to discuss county issues. As many have heard, Commissioner DeBello had made a suggestion about incorporating additional opportunities for public comment into our board meetings. Our county staff worked with all three of us individually and proposed a solution that will give the public more time to discuss issues germane to county business while still being efficient in the use of our community's time. Starting today, we will have 2 opportunities for public comment during the board meeting. The first public comment will be available during the start of the meeting and must pertain to subjects on the agenda for that day's meeting. The second opportunity for public comment will come at the end of the meeting and can pertain to any issues that may come before the Board of Commissioners. These must still be relevant and germane to county business. We'll have 2 sign-up sheets at the table for those in the room. People on Zoom will raise their hands during each public comment section to be unmuted when it is their time to speak. I just want to point out that this is one example of how this new Board of Commissioners is committed to listening and working with residents of Montgomery County. And I look forward to continuing to find opportunity to collaborate and engage in respectful dialogue. So I'm really excited. Thank you, Tom, for raising this, and thank you, Neil, for your support. I want to make sure that our commissioners' boardroom and our board meetings remain a safe place for people to share ideas, share feedback, and I want to ensure that we create a respectful and healthy environment. And so I'm hopeful that giving these extra minutes will allow you all to be able to do that. And so, sorry for those long-winded comments, but there was a lot to talk about, and I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Makija. Thank you.
Very well done. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I'll start first by recognizing that February is also American Heart Health Month. Heart disease is the leading cause of death for men, women, and people across racial and ethnic groups in the United States. Although many are also affected disproportionately, we want to encourage everyone to really seek out one resource, hearthealthysteps.org. It's provided by the CDC. It helps you understand your risk factors, ways that you can take steps to decrease your risk of heart disease. The second announcement I'd like to make is really exciting. So in December of 2023, Governor Shapiro signed into law Pennsylvania's first ever indigent defense fund with an allocation of $7.5 million. That was the first time in the history of Pennsylvania that the state invested in indigent defense. Before that, all of the obligation was met by counties locally. And for those of you who know, the work of being a public defender is difficult. The offices are frequently burdened with caseloads per attorney that you wouldn't see anywhere in the private sector. And we truly need that level of support coming from the state, and many other counties need it as well. So the announcement that we have to make today is something that we're really excited about, which is that the commission that's going to help allocate those funds, which has a number of members appointed by the Supreme Court and the governor, will have our very own Chief Public Defender, Christine Laura, if she can stand up, just so we can recognize her. It's a great honor to have her to serve on this commission with an incredibly important purpose that's going to support hopefully our defenders and those around the Commonwealth. So thank you, Christine, for serving on that on behalf of Montgomery County. For those who don't know, she took on this role last year and is born and raised here in Monco and is from Lansdale. So thank you. So a second announcement. Today we're going to be voting on about $500,000 in additional funding to the Monco Anti-Hunger Network. This money is going to go to direct purchase of food for county food pantries, and approving these funds really renews our commitment to addressing hunger and food insecurity in the county. It's especially important at a time where inflation and rising prices are going to impact all of our residents, and we need to take steps to help them on the critical issue of food insecurity. So I want to thank everyone who's part of the Monco Anti-Hunger Network and all the food pantries and organizations that are part of that. We look forward to visiting in your locale soon as well. And the final announcement I have is just that this upcoming Saturday, February 10th, is Lunar New Year. So we want to welcome the Year of the Dragon and really wish a happy New Year and celebration to everyone who will be observing. So thank you all.
Well, you guys covered all the good stuff.
We did.
Again, I think I want to thank everyone for coming here today. I mean, this is great looking out and seeing so many smiling faces. I've been at commissioner meetings before, and if there was 4 or 5 people or so, that was a lot in some instances. But to see so many people here and be have interest in what we're doing is really it's amazing and awesome, and we like it. We really appreciate all of that. It's been a busy month. I can't believe it's been 1 month since we've been sworn in. It's been busy. As I said, we've been meeting. I know I've been meeting. I know my fellow commissioners have been meeting with a lot of department heads and really trying to get our arms around all the important aspects of what's going on in Montgomery County. Because when we're sitting up here, we want to make really good, strong, informed decisions. And to do that, we reach out and getting a lot of information. Even yesterday, I met with our Commerce Department. I met with our new Steve Forrester and Jenny Butler. Steve is our new Director of Commerce, and Jenny Butler is our Deputy Director of the Commerce Department. And she really focuses on workforce development, which is a good thing because there's a lot of jobs out there, and she's willing and wants to work extremely hard to get people employed throughout Montgomery County. So there's a lot of programs that they have to offer. There's programs, low interest loans, just a lot of things that they want to do and work really hard to promote these programs to new businesses and growing businesses. We're, as commissioners, we already had a special election that we worked through in January, which I think went pretty smooth. What's really important is, as Jamil mentioned, Commissioner Widener mentioned, that as commissioners are working very well together, and that's a great change, and we're all excited about that. And as mentioned, I made a suggestion a few meetings ago about expanding our public comment. They thought about it, they worked with staff and came back and said, you know what, let's try that. My add to what you mentioned is that this is a good thing from Montgomery County perspective, Montgomery County residents. It's a good thing as commissioners. But I'm gonna put it out there as, not to be a downer, but let's not take advantage and let's not ruin this, because we wanna hear what the community has to say. We wanna engage with our community, but none of us wanna sit up here and just be, you know, chastised or berated for, you know, things that we're trying to do. And I know personally, we have our solicitor down there will do it, and I will do it as well. Like, I have no problem, you know, saying to someone, no, we're not going there. This isn't appropriate. So let's keep it on the up and up, because I think that we have a great opportunity to demonstrate that this is a good thing for Montgomery County residents, and I'm really excited that we're going to move in that direction. Another big vote that we're going to be talking about later is the EMS first responders tax rebate that I think is going to be amazing for Montgomery County, our EMS and first responders. I think it's going to be very well received, and I think many are going to be happy and take advantage of that. So again, these are all the things that we're doing, working together as commissioners. We every week we get different briefings as commissioners of things that are going on in the county. And I want to bring that up for two reasons. One is that people think that we just randomly vote up here, and they really don't understand the work that staff puts into all of these topics that we go through. So by the time it gets to us and by the time we actually bring it to a vote, there's been a lot of discussion, a lot of investigation, a lot of questions, a lot of research, so that when it actually makes it to this agenda, we're well prepared to make the best decisions possible for the county. And I think that's important that we point that out. And finally, I know I get a lot of emails right now through the public email contact, and I'm doing my best to try to get through them. I mean, it's been a fast 4 weeks, and there's a lot of people that are reaching out, and there's a lot of excitement about the change in commissioners, and there's a lot of excitement about seeing us working together. And I promise I will get through them all. Even if I didn't get to, if somebody's watching, I didn't get to your email yet, I will, but give me a little bit of time, because we are working through it. So again, you know, I want to thank my fellow commissioners for the first month of how well and how fun it's been and productive and rewarding. So thank you as well.
Well, I've been here a little over a year, and I'm still getting through my emails.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's not encouraging.
That's why you have the camera. So, all right. Well, thank you for those comments. So I'd like to invite the group that is all about fun up to the podium to give us a presentation on the Valley Forge Tourism Board's annual report. Mike Bowman, you want to come up to the podium with your team?
Monty's here.
And Monty. Hi, Monty. How are you?
Good morning, Montgomery County Commissioners. Thank you so much for having us today. My name is Sophia, and I'm the Creative Design Associate at Valley Forge Tourism. I have been a Monco resident for most of my life, and I went through the Colonial School District and graduated from Plymouth Whitemarsh High School. I then went on to graduate from Cabrini University with a degree in graphic design. Since starting as an intern, the Tourism Board has given me so many opportunities to excel in marketing and get real hands-on experience. Now that I'm a full-time employee, I appreciate the continued support for my career growth as I encounter new challenges that contribute to my professional development. Thank you again for having us today. I'll now turn things over to our President and CEO, Mike Bowman.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job. Thanks, Sophia, and thank you, Commissioners. It's great to be here today. And we're not starting out with COVID. We're talking about some just wonderful things happening in the county right now. We're here today for the opportunity to get to know you and for you to get to know us. We're a private membership-based nonprofit that promotes the county. Slides up, there you go. That promotes the county as a destination for sporting events, meetings, convention, and leisure business. We're funded by 4% hotel tax that we use to drive visitation and boost the economy. Here's a quick glance at just some of the work we do, and take a look. Quick video. Sound? does sound good, I can guarantee you. It's really a good video. They were having
Yeah.
some technical challenges earlier.
That guy. Can do a little dance for us, Mike.
Well, there's a lot going on in Montgomery County. Monty, you want to do some tricks?
All right, so,
Do you want to come back to
yeah,
it?
we'll come back to that.
Okay, we'll come right back to it. Right up here on the screen right now is our vision and our mission statement. We do have a 5-year strategic plan. We outsource the plan. We update it every 3 years. We set our goals, our tactics, our objectives. We measure everything. We build everything around a comp set, which is the surrounding counties. So you're going to hear today about a lot of our goals and goal sets. Some facts. In 2022, visitor spending generated $1.6 billion, which contributed to a total positive economic impact of tourism in Montgomery County of $2.3 billion. And again, that leads the region. It's pretty impressive numbers. Some hotel facts and figures that contribute to those numbers. And you're going to hear more about this as the team comes up. We have 82 hotels in Montgomery County. We have 4 new hotels in the pipeline that'll be coming in 24 and the beginning of 25 Q1. We have 9,496 hotel rooms, $266 million in revenue, a record set in 2023 alone. Almost 2 million room nights came through Montgomery County in 2023. And to give you an idea with rooms, Bucks has 4,500, Chester has 4,100, Delco has 4,300. So, and Philadelphia County has 18,000 rooms. So we have double the amount of rooms for all the suburbs throughout the county. Montgomery County, as we all know, is a big county. So big wins for the team in 23, 1.7 million website views. Our marketing team is incredible. You're going to hear more from them. 225,000 social media followers. 140,000 room nights are booked by our organization alone. 1,600 stories just about Monco came through our office. 25 industry awards in 2023. Looking ahead, this and next year will be great for Monco, but I have to tell you, 2026 is going to be beyond incredible. Between celebrating America 250 and all the other events coming to the region, as you can see, some of the events up here, I'll go through some of them real quick. Valley Forge and Montgomery County, PA will be on the global stage, and we're getting ready. We're going to be updating the commissioners randomly. There is a lot coming our way. So for example, we have, there's March Madness, there's the PGA Championship, which is not in Monco, but we always benefit at Rodman Country Club. That'll be 80,000 people. You're seeing a lot of news right now. World Cup is coming. Over 600,000 people are going to be coming to this region. This is all really, really, pop in June and July of 26. Major League All-Star Games coming. Marion's hosted a big event. And then there's going to be events at the Valley Forge National Park. There's a lot of planning going on right now, and certainly things throughout the county. So I'm going to come back up at the end of the presentation. I'm going to turn it to Jake right now, but I want open it up for some questions. Monco has a lot happening right now.
All right. Good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
Good seeing you. And I was going to kick things off with a little bit of history about the organization. But first and foremost, I'm Jake Markison, Vice President of Operations with the Tourism Board. So this organization is over 60 years old. Founded in 1963. At the time, these organizations, are like ours, were referred to as TPAs, Tour and Promotion Agencies, Tourism Promotion Agencies. Now they're referred to as DMOs, Destination Marketing Organizations. It's kind of changed over the years. And over those 60 years, the name has evolved to be what it is now, Valley Forge Tourism Convention Board. Another key date would be, for instance, in 1999, the organization became a private nonprofit, 501c6. But the county does retain fiduciary oversight of the organization by appointing its board members. And then last but not least, enabling legislation through the state of Pennsylvania has allowed organizations like ours, through the help of the county, to enact room taxes. So the first one was in 1983, and then subsequently over the years, it's been increased, and most recently in 2016, Governor Wolf signed into law something called Act 18 that allowed counties to increase room tax up to 5%. Currently ours is at 4%. Next slide. So how are we measured? And I take great pride in what the organization does on a day-to-day basis to lead the region in these metrics. So a little bit of background on how we are measured, and this is just one metric. We do a lot of other type of metrics to measure the organization, but at the end of the day, it comes down to room revenue, total room revenue for the county of Pennsylvania, or county of Montgomery. For instance, we're measured on occupancy, which is amount of rooms filled on any given day. There's the average daily rate, and then you do the math of both of those, and you get something called revenue, RevPAR, revenue per available room. And what I want to point out, and this is what we're looking at here, is comparison between 2023 versus 2022 year-to-date change. You can see in the bottom right with the red box, Montgomery County outperformed the rest of the suburban counties with growing its overall room revenue close to 7%. So not only did the county come out of COVID strong, we continue to lead the growth in the region when we compare to our comp set, which is other suburban counties. Next slide. So how do we match up against the other counties? You can see here, as Mike mentioned, the $266 million. That's the total room revenue for the entire county. Okay, we grew, like I said, to 7%. In fact, one county in particular actually decreased year over year, but the other counties did go up a little bit, but obviously not as much as our revenue growth. How do we compare to the rest of the counties when you look at our total rooms? As Mike mentioned, we're a little over 9,000. Philadelphia's about 19. The other counties are about half of ours. We control about 42% of the market share, even though we only control about 41% of the total supply. And then last but not least, at the bottom is the room tax rates that you can see comparing to the other counties in the region, with us at 4%. So that, I feel like that is a competitive advantage for us. Next slide. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to being a DMO, destination marketing organization, it comes down to funding. With that being said, we turn on the TV every single day and you see other states marketing their states, New York State, Virginia, etc. Pennsylvania unfortunately does not have a robust marketing campaign to promote itself, so that comes back to the county. Right, so we're at 92% of our total revenue in 2023 came from room tax. However, we are diversified, and I'm happy to say, not long ago we were about 98% was funding our revenue was room tax. But you can see between membership dues and co-op advertising, we bring in close to $500,000, and we have a very conservative investment income strategy. We also bring in state grants. We lean on the state quite a bit, whether it's helping to fund our arts initiatives or even our Monco Makers, our local breweries. We're going to be doing it. We receive grant money from the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board to market our breweries in the county. And then last but not least, you'll hear more about it, but we also put on a run every year at Valley Forge Park, and that is revenue that we then turn back over to the park to enhance visitor services and visitor profile at the park. So, and that's a great partnership. So with that being said, questions at the end, I'm going to turn it over now to Lisa Carl. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jake. Good morning, everyone. How are you today?
Good morning.
So happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Lisa Carl. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Strategic Partnerships. And as you may know, sales works very closely with our hotel partners, helping them to reach that sellout status in Montgomery County. We're sending them group business opportunities every chance we get. So how do we do that? Next slide, please. So we act as an extension of the hotel sales and marketing efforts by focusing on bringing in group business of all types, from corporate training programs to state association conferences, along with a ton of sporting events. So the strategic sales approach is that we attend shows to meet folks that are interested in our destination. We invite them in for hotel tours. We visit all the facilities, in particular the Valley Forge Casino Resort, the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center, as well as the Proving Grounds in Conshohocken are the big ones. So we have 5 talented full-time sales professionals, and this year they plan to travel over 150,000 miles internationally, nationally, and we'll be participating in over 50 shows, sales activities, and the such, all to cultivate business opportunities for Montgomery County. And as a result of our sales efforts, we are projecting to produce over $118 million in economic impact, for Montgomery County. We target meeting business, which is about 30% of the group business that we manage, consisting of corporate association, expo, public shows, and that. Everything that's non-sports related falls into that bucket. We encourage event planners to choose our easily accessible location, providing their attendees with many things to see and do throughout Montgomery County. Next slide, please, and then you can kind of click through the next one. So as Mike mentioned, so from Pottstown to Conchie, from Horsham to King of Prussia, we have over 80 hotels within our Montgomery County hotel portfolio. So that's twice as many of our neighboring suburban counties, so our team has to work twice as hard to fill our hotels and put more heads in beds. So we're super excited to see a new hotel is opening this summer in King of Prussia. It is a great location right across the street from the King of Prussia Mall. It is a conversion of the Best Western in King of Prussia, and it's soon to be 136 room Residence Inn, and it'll also have right next door 68 room Best Western Signature, which is their premier brand. So we are excited that there also will be 2 more hotel openings next year, because we're soon going to be approaching 10,000 hotel rooms in the Montgomery County region. So it's really exciting. We have a lot of hotel rooms to fill. So next slide, please. So we are going to be ready to welcome those more hotels to Montgomery County, especially since we continue to see significant growth within our sports tourism market segment, which represents over 70% of what we manage within our organization. So what is sports tourism? Well, of course, your traditional lacrosse, soccer, and the such, but there's also some really unique niche type of business out there for sports, such as pickleball, cornhole, and Quidditch, which is that Harry Potter game. And it consists of some college and adult, but mostly youth. And it produces business all across Montgomery County. A majority of the tournaments take place at the Proving Ground, which you see here in the top right side of the screen. And that's in Conshohocken. And then, of course, the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center in the bottom right in Oaks, Pennsylvania. So last year was our best year ever. We hosted over 100 sporting events, generating close to 100,000 room nights, generating over $70 million in economic impact. And this year, we are expecting things to be even bigger. So in fact, this June, we will host the largest county-wide event ever. We will be welcoming 100 YMCA clubs to Montgomery County. This is a phenomenal 5-night stay event. It will bring 6,000 total room nights all across the county and produce $5 million in economic impact. Montgomery County has truly become a sports destination. The organizers, the players, their families, they all want to be in Montgomery County. So we strive to bring more business in relation to sports, and we really are out there as much as you can imagine. We go to the next slide and then click through one more time, and we'll have Justine come up and share some marketing updates. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, and good morning, Commissioners. My name is Justine Garbarino, and I'm the Associate Vice President of Marketing at the Tourism Board. Next slide. Our marketing campaigns are created to drive day and overnight visitation to the county. We run multiple campaigns a year. We rely on data and research to understand our audience. Our advertising efforts include a mix of traditional and new media buys, but always with creative messaging showcasing the best experiences here in Monco. Philadelphia is our #1 target market, but we also advertise in key drive markets like New York, Harrisburg, and down to Washington, D.C. Some 45 million people live within 200 miles of the Philadelphia region, so that's a whole lot of people and potential visitors that we can target. Next slide. I mentioned how we use data in our marketing. Well, over the last few years, our data has shown that visitors want 2 things in our destination: budget and family-friendly travel. So last summer, we launched Freak Out in Montgomery County and puts family and affordability at the forefront while showcasing Monco's top attractions. You can go to the next slide and one more. That's our video from last summer. You'll see that more this year, and I'll be happy to share that with you after this meeting. But this campaign generated positive results and feedback, and we believe it will still resonate well with our audiences this year. So you'll see it again, of course, with some fun new tweaks this summer. We're hoping the consistency and the fact that many consumers may already be familiar with our messaging will contribute to a stronger brand awareness and recognition of Monco. Another factor we're integrating into our marketing campaigns this year is sustainability. We're focused on emphasizing eco-friendly things to do and places to visit in our content. More are expressing an interest in sustainable tourism, and there's a clear link between tourism and other sectors and how we can work together to promote sustainable practices. As a tourism board, we feel we must help protect the environmental and cultural resources of Montgomery County for the long-term benefit of our community. Plus, this also leads to a more authentic and meaningful experience for visitors, that's what many visitors now crave when they visit a destination. Next slide. The most powerful way we communicate about Montgomery County, though, is through our website, valleyforge.org. This site helps people find events, restaurants, attractions, hotels, and a whole lot more. In 2023, the website generated more than 1.7 million page views. That's the highest number of views in 4 years. Each one of those views is an opportunity for us to educate a visitor about Montgomery County and encourage them to visit, or if they're already here, stay a little bit longer. Our website is ADA compliant, and there's even a translation tool so it can be read in various languages. And finally, on the next slide, in addition to our website, marketing campaigns, and advertising efforts, we have many other initiatives aimed at driving visitation and enhancing visitor experiences here in Monco. I encourage you to review our annual report, which we brought today, or which you can read on our website for more of those programs. Thank you for your support. It means so much to us as a destination and helps us be successful. So I'm going to toss it over to my colleague Rachel next.
All right, thanks Justine, thanks commissioners. I'm Rachel Riley, AVP of Communications and Visitor Experience. So I oversee our PR, our communications, our social media, our government relations, arts and culture, our visitor services, and I swear I'm the last one to talk. So we're almost done. We are beyond lucky to have our Montgomery County Tourism Information and Welcome Space right on, as our President and CEO always says, the 50-yard line at Valley Forge National Historical Park, where we can share with visitors how to explore the rest of Monco. We recently renovated this area with new map, navigation tools, itinerary building, and technology resources to make exploring our county even easier than ever, especially ahead of the semi-quincentennial in 2026, when the park will also be celebrating its 50th anniversary. As part of our partnership with the park, we also host the annual Valley Forge Revolutionary 5-mile run, our beloved Rev Run. It's one of only a few races run entirely in a national park, and proceeds benefit tourism improvement projects right there at the park. To date, we've raised more than $600,000. So far this year, people from more than 9 states are participating all along the East Coast, and as far away as Michigan and Indiana. So whether you're a runner or a walker, we'd love to see you conquer the valley with us at this family, kid, and dog-friendly event. So definitely check it out, and it's also very scenic. Moving along from spring to summer, in addition to our summer marketing campaign, this year we're expanding our Crave initiative from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Since we learned from the county that there are as many as 4,000 food and beverage operations in Monco, we wanted to give consumers even more time to explore. So we started Crave Monco Month through the pandemic, and it's evolved from deals and discounts to featured menu items to a celebration of food, chefs, towns, locally owned spots, and dining experiences all along our main streets. Speaking of which, we brought along a special treat today, and Chef, if you want to start handing out. I'm so excited to introduce you to the man who made it. This is our very own 3-time world champion chef, Hiram Quintana. His restaurants include Stave and Stable, Sizzle, and J.J. Radigan Brewing Company, which are all in Pottstown.
Thank you.
If you haven't tried any of them, you got to get out there. They're fantastic. He's amazing. You really need to check them out. And Chef is going to come up to the podium and say a few words, but he did prepare a little something for the folks up there, for our commissioners. A salad. He's going to tell you a little bit about that, as well as himself and some of his restaurants once he finishes handing those out. It looks delicious. It smells
Thank you
amazing.
for being
For
here.
those of you online, sorry, but it smells really good. And Chef, you want to come over here and just say a few words, please?
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Chef Hiram from Pottstown, Pennsylvania. I was originally born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I moved out at a younger age, like 15 years old, to the Royersford area. My kids are all Springford school graduates, and over the years I've worked at familiar restaurants like Lakeside Inn and Limerick, and it started off the foundation for the restaurant industry in the county, in the area, and which eventually moved me on to travel a little bit and compete in the World Barbecue competitions and the KCBS, SCA, WFC, which is the World Food Championships. Traveled around the country, learning ingredients, learning stuff, and when given the opportunity to become a small business owner, a restaurateur, I chose Montgomery County because, of course, my roots with Springford School District and everything else. I said, why not bring world-class dining to our area? So doing exactly that with my team, which employs now 52 employees now in Pottstown, with the revitalization that's been happening since 2018 or 19. We've developed, I put a card in front of you, 3 restaurants along with other businesses such as axe throwing. You got the Red Horse Motoring Club, which runs the car shows that run through the Pottstown area and everything like that. So our initiative has basically been to bring world-class dining into our area. So people, why Philadelphia? Why not Montgomery County? Why not Pottstown? So I've been working with that with my team, vigorously. And in front of you, you have the herb frisee salad, which is featured at one of my restaurants, Stave and Stable, contemporary American fine dining, all 100%, from scratch, made from the restaurant to everything. So basically, whatever you get inside the restaurant, you're not going to get anywhere else, which is unique to all the restaurants that we're building into the community, into the area. So, yeah, very briefly, this area has been, it means a lot to me, and especially when you're in the world stage in Dallas, Texas, when they say from Pottstown, Pennsylvania, on that stage, that's where it's at, that's where the reward is. Being from this county really means a lot, and I'm looking forward to a lot of years of putting some restaurants together here and sharing with all of you folks, hopefully, at some time.
Great.
Thank
Well,
you.
well, thank you, and congrats to you. And we know how hard it is to run a business, start a business, and then run a successful business. So all the best. Can you bring a restaurant to Norristown?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's talk about that later. Okay. I need some other food options. Okay, awesome.
Chef is
Congratulations.
being very humble, by the way. You gotta check out his videos online of him
Okay.
with live fire. It's amazing. It's
You'll make
incredible.
sure we have all that information.
Yeah, we will
Okay,
definitely
awesome.
send that to you. So
Great.
thank you so much,
Great, thanks
Chef.
for being here, and thanks
And
for the
just another
lunch.
fun fact, excuse me, I'm sorry, Commissioner.
No, I was just saying thanks for the lunch.
Yeah,
I didn't know
of
what I was
course,
thinking today.
enjoy. You can eat while we're talking too. Go ahead. Don't wait, it's fresh. So fun fact about Montgomery County, we actually have the second most breweries out of all PA counties with more than 40. So as Jake was alluding to earlier, you'll see some promotion from us in the fall for our Monco makers, so stay tuned for more. In the arts world, we have started another initiative through COVID, Arts Monco Week. But because consumer and business behavior has changed so much, instead of celebrating the arts for just 1 week in September, we're going to boost our cultural venues with year-long promotion to hopefully drive more foot and web traffic through our brand new Arts Monco Pass. Working with a company called Van Wango, this mirrors our other 2 passes, Monco Makers and History, and visitors will be able to check in at more than 30 arts locations all across the county. They can earn points and then they get swag. We'll also keep supporting local artists to continue to grow the presence of, currently we have 6 Arts Monco walls throughout the county. So we're going to be looking at hotels, corporate areas, towns, and attractions. We are super excited to announce the return of our 3rd annual Monco Jazz Fest. and you all are the first to officially hear the theme, Legacy. The idea behind this is to honor the living legacy that is jazz and some of the legendary performers within the genre by having beginner artists work with those who are more renowned, or even having some tribute concerts. With the help of our awesome consultant, Joanna Pascal, she's sitting right here in the audience today. She is a woman in jazz. We're going to continue to build off last year's Women in Jazz theme by empowering female voices. And we'll also be including educational and fundraising components for youth jazz programs in the county. Now, I do apologize about some of the technical issues we were having with the videos. We did send some links. We'll make sure you all get them. Super fun music, very hype. But we brought it back up, live music. So with that, I'd like to bring up a local woman in jazz, Lower Merion native, Olivia Hugart. She's going to share a little bit about herself and her awesome organization called Key of She, and she just might play you a little something.
Good morning, commissioners. Thank you so much for having us today. I'm very excited to be here. My name is Olivia Hugart, and like Rachel said, I am a Lower Merion native. I went to Merion Elementary School, Balakinwood Middle School, and finished at Lower Merion High School. I went on to study jazz studies at New York University with a minor in public policy and management, and I just graduated this past spring. And now I am currently based in New York City, but I come back to Philly very frequently, and Montgomery County, where my parents live. And during my time at Lower Merion, I actually started an all-girls initiative called Key of She Jazz. And I started it when I was a 7th grader at Balakinwood Middle School, when I noticed I was one of the only girls in my middle school jazz band. What started as a small all-girls after-school jazz ensemble has turned into a full-fledged nonprofit organization that is based here in Montgomery County. We actually have an event coming up next week called the Key of She Jazz Jam, which will include not only girls and non-binary students in jazz, but also parents, educators, students of all genders, and really anyone who supports our mission of including girls in jazz. And it is a free event thanks to our fundraising efforts, and it'll be hosted at the University of the Arts, again, February 17th. So I'm just gonna play you a little song just to lighten up the mood a little bit, little ear break. This is a tune called Strike Up the Band. I figured that would be a fitting composition. Celebrating women in jazz, and I'm so excited to see where the Jazz Festival continues, and I'm excited to be a part of it in this coming year as well. So thank you so much for your time today.
That's awesome. Thanks for being here, and congratulations on graduating, and we'll get that information on that event so that we can share that more broadly.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Commissioner. Thank you, Olivia. So all of these things, Reverend, Crave, Arts, Jazz, they help us to tell the positive story of Montgomery County in our PR and our social. And you can see some of the success that we've had here with the numbers. This year we'll be really focused on analytics as well as engaging with influencers. The other side of public relations, of course, is communicating with the community, and we accomplish that through our town talks, which we began several years ago. We present to Montco's 62 municipalities, not all in 1 year, unfortunately, it takes time, but we update residents and elected officials on how we're already promoting their area and discuss ways that we can work together. So you can see some of the towns that we'll be going to this year. We also think it's incredibly important to give back to our community. So that's why, in addition to Rev Run, we made a commitment to host our annual Freedom from Hunger drives in the spring and fall to benefit 70 free meal providers across the county through the Monco Anti-Hunger Network. This began as a farewell gift to Pope Francis when he visited the region and stayed at a seminary in Montco for the World Meeting of Families in 2015. To date, we've collected the monetary equivalent of more than 200,000 pounds of food. Sadly, there are plenty of people who are food insecure in Montgomery County, and I feel like not a lot of people know that or talk about it. Mon alone serves more than 20,000 households and almost 65,000 individuals. 2024 marks the 10th anniversary of both our Freedom from Hunger food drive as well as Mon. I'm so proud to serve on the Mon Board of Directors, and Commissioner, I truly appreciate your comments earlier and all of the commissioners' consideration on that vote today. This is a cause that is close to my heart, so really just appreciate that commitment from this group to this organization. It's really important. We want to raise $10,000 this year for the 10th. Food is a basic human right that everyone deserves, and I think if we all just bring a little bit more to the table, there will be plenty to go around. So really appreciate the effort to help fight hunger together. Last but of course not least, we'll be celebrating Black History Month all February long by spotlighting our Black-owned businesses with influencers on social. I would also encourage folks, if you haven't already, please check out the inspiring Patriots of African Descent Monument in Valley Forge Park and the moving Charles Blockson Black History exhibit, which is at Center Theater right here in Norristown. There's also an Arts Monco wall at that location, which specifically features work from Black artists. With that, we also have some upcoming events to mark your calendars, including our travel rally and Monco Golf Classic, which will be at Manufacturers Golf and Country Club in Upper Dublin, and then our signature annual lunch event in October at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center. Thank you so much for your time. Happy to answer any questions, but I'll turn it back over to our boss.
Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. I know it seemed a little long. We tried to compress it, and sorry about the videos and technical challenges.
Okay.
Any questions for me? It's great to be here again.
No questions for me. I'm really impressed with the work that you and your team are doing to put a spotlight on Montgomery County. And this is, the arts, the culture, the food scene, raising a family here in Montgomery County. I no longer have to go to the city to do, the family-friendly activities and go out to dinner with my husband. So really impressed with the work that you're doing. So thank you for being here. Any other comments or questions?
No, it's a great presentation, and I appreciate all the hard work that's going on to promote Montgomery County. Two things. One is we have lunch, we have music. I didn't notice any cocktails.
Fireworks.
But you raised an interesting point earlier, probably closer to the beginning of the presentation, and I've noticed that as well over the years. Pennsylvania, in general, hasn't done a very good job of promoting the state. And do you see that as a detriment to all your efforts? Do you see if Pennsylvania actually did a little better job of promoting the state that would enhance what you're doing? Or, I'm just trying to figure out what kind of impact
Great
that.
question, and yes, another month or so, you're going to see a lot of commercials from Virginia, from New York,
Right.
from New Jersey, from Delaware, even New Hampshire. The state has just destroyed its budget over the years. The governor is very much in favor of tourism. We worked very close with Josh over the years when he was the chair, of course, and he gets it. There's a lot of jobs associated with tourism.
Mhm.
We're hoping in the next budget, there's going to be more money allotted to Pennsylvania. I'm not being biased, or I don't have a big ego, right? I don't have a big ego. We're the best. We're the best in the tri-state region. We're the best in the state. The biggest compliment that we get, Tom, is we see you everywhere. So when Bryce Harper's up the bat, you'll see Come to Monco behind Bryce Harper. If you're down the shore in the summer, when Cape May over at the Long Beach Island, you're going to see airplanes that say you're missing all the fun in Monco. And our goal is an awareness campaign that you come to our website. Justine and her team are incredible. Go to our website. It's phenomenal. But we're out there constantly promoting the county where the state should be doing more. And it's a great point you bring up. We are hearing some rumbling. There'll be more money in the state. We're hoping. But we push it hard.
Well, I'm not sure if it's a money issue or, because there is a whole committee at the state level, tourism.
Well, there is.
committee.
I meet with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just,
I think their budget is, I want to say $4 or $5 million. I think New York's, we're not New York, Pennsylvania, is 300 million, 400 million.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, but, I mean, you presented a lot of liveliness and, you know, all that, and when you look, I'm just, you know, maybe I'm biased because Montgomery County, you guys do a great job, I agree that you probably are the best, or are, you, and not, probably bigger than Tri-County, but anyway, or Tri-State. But it seems like what Pennsylvania is doing currently is just tired. It's tired and it's dated and it's old.
Agreed.
And and maybe, I guess I'm raising this up is because if we could help encourage
We do.
to, you know, and anything that we can do to help encourage to maybe, you know, incorporate some of your ideas, some of the things that you successfully have been doing, because I think that there's so many opportunities, there's so many things that Pennsylvania, as a state, you know, that we want to be able to demonstrate or show and bring people in.
Absolutely.
We are missing the mark, but it's good that in Montgomery County, you guys are extremely successful. So I appreciate that. And I also love the shout out to Springford School District multiple times that I heard earlier.
We do a lot with education.
Yeah,
Education.
I was on the school board in Springford, I was just kidding around. But no, this has been great, so thank you.
Again, thank you, and we'll be back up. We'll be meeting with the commissioners individually and as groups and updating the community. Rachel does a great job with her team going to all the public meetings, all the towns and townships. More to come.
And I just one quick other question, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, all these events, I mean, we get notified because we want to make sure that we're there to support anything that we can do as well. I know that both.
Commissioner Leonard and I were talking about
Yeah.
that the other day. All of our feeds, all of our social media are out there. We feed the county with everything, but we probably could do a better job of really pushing it to the county to ensure that things are really, and then you're pushing things out.
Right,
You
and
know, it goes so far when the commissioners are out there
right.
with our Power On and being a Rev Run and various events, and especially dining, it really, because then people are pushing that out on social media and pushing it out, as you know. So,
Yeah, I know that we would love to be, anything that you have going on, we'd love to be there to help
Yes.
support that. And unfortunately, I can't make that run at the park. When is it?
Why, because you're not running? I already told them I'm not running.
But no, thank you.
thank you. Great comments.
No, I'll just say I had a great time visiting you in the office and meeting the staff this week, and look forward to following up on many of the things that we talked about, so,
Thank you.
thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Have a great week.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you.
everyone.
Bye,
Congratulations to you
Monty.
guys.
See you later.
Did Monty see a show?
All right, we're gonna, what?
Monty does drink.
Do you wanna get a photo?
Sly Fox beer.
Yeah, we'll get a photo.
Monty, if you want to come around here quick for a photo, we'll just
Mon-
like close it out.
Get a show,
He's
can we get a
working the
photo of
crowd.
Monty?
Just let him work the crowd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you won't get tackled.
Definitely want to get Monty.
Monty, how are you?
Perfect.
Great.
Good to see you. All right.
Great job.
Thanks again. All right, we need to move our meeting along here. I'm kicking off our Black History Month event, so don't want to be late to that. So we're going to jump into public comment, but before we do, I want to turn it over to Ray to review public comment.
Yes, thank you, Chair Winder. As Chair Winder announced at the beginning of the meeting, our public comment section is enhanced today moving forward. This first public comment period that is happening now is for comment on agenda items only. If you have public comment on general county business that's germane to county business, that would come later in the meeting. At the end of the meeting, there's a second public comment period. And then also, if you're here to talk about the ordinance that's going to be voted on, we will have a special public comment period during the hearing, which will happen in just a couple minutes for that. So if you're here to talk about that, wait until the hearing for that public comment.
Great. Thank you.
So first up for public comment is Michelle Mayor.
Hi, Michelle.
Michelle Moore, with King Township. I just want to say congratulations to the three of you on your win. It's so great to see shining, happy faces up there that are eager to get work done. With that being said, I'm here because I'm going to adjust the crime in Montgomery County.
Can I just,
I moved down.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but if you want to talk about crime, again, that's not an agenda item. That would be at the later
I
part of the
filled out
meeting.
the wrong paper. That's when she sent me
Yeah.
home. I was like, I don't think I'm
That's
supposed
all
to
right.
be up there yet.
That's
We
all
can
right, we'll
hold your
bring it back
comment
up
to
later,
To the
okay?
end,
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
If you don't mind waiting.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thanks.
Appreciate it.
So then we have two public comments on Zoom. The first would be Marlene Laska.
I don't believe we need we have two different comment periods for, public comments. But I'm going to reserve mine to, the general comment.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so then next would be Deb Spence.
Who was next?
Deb Spence.
Deb
Spence.
Okay.
Also on Zoom.
Check the chat.
Hello?
Yes, hi, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm sorry, I really couldn't hear
Deb,
the
hold on a second.
audio.
Hold on a second. All right.
Can
Deb,
you hear me?
We can hear you. There's just an echo in the room that we're trying to figure out.
You said you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Well,
Still
I'm
an
just
echo.
gonna, even though I can hear my a little weird, but
Hey, Deb, hold on a second.
my public comment is to congratulate Commissioner Winder on Black History Month. It's a celebration of it's sort of like the
Hey, Colin,
birthday for
mute her for a
the,
second until we get this right.
depending on who you speak, 50
And just
million blacks in the world or 1 billion, I think it.
Colin, if you could send a message to. I just won't talk.
Okay, it shouldn't echo.
Okay, that sounds better.
Well, I don't know.
So Deb, I think that comment was a general, more of a general public comment from what I could gather. I don't know if it was, okay. All right, so let's save it for the end. Deb, if you could stick around. All right, anyone else?
No, that is it for public.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on to the approval of the minutes from the January 25th, 2024 meeting of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes for January 25th, 2024 minutes of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Makija. Any board comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, I'd like to call our special hearing for the active volunteer real estate tax rebate ordinance hearing. This hearing is regarding a proposed ordinance to provide a tax rebate for volunteer members of fire companies and emergency medical service agencies. At the conclusion of the hearing, the commissioners will vote on ordinance 2024-1. During the hearing, the public will be permitted to offer comment on the proposed ordinance, but first, I'd like to invite Maureen, who's already there, to explain and give background on the ordinance.
Good morning, Commissioners. In 2016, Pennsylvania Act 172 established the option for municipalities to offer volunteers of fire companies and nonprofit emergency medical services agencies a local government real estate tax credit. In 2020, that was expanded to include counties and school districts, and it also established statewide requirements. Subsequently, the amount of the credit was increased from 20% of government tax liability to 100%. Sorry.
It's okay.
And as you had indicated, there are some requirements by the Act before we pass the ordinance, and one is the hearing that we're now holding, and the opportunity to allow the public to comment on the ordinance. Following the adoption of the ordinance, the county is required to send a copy to the Pennsylvania Office of the State Fire Commissioner. Our CFO, Dean, will develop public procedures necessary to implement implement the active volunteer real estate tax review program within 60 days of the passing of the ordinance. And once you approve the ordinance, we will continue to implement the program. And before I ask Dean to explain the actual program, just for the purposes of the record, we are having a court reporter take down a transcript of this hearing, and I'm going to offer 2 exhibits to be attached to the hearing transcript, and one is proof that we advertised the hearing as required by the Act, and the second is the actual copy of the proposed ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
And Dean is here to describe actually what the program will be.
Thank you, Maureen. Good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
Next slide, please. All right, so I'm gonna the ordinance is pretty comprehensive and outlines many program requirements, but I'm going to go through this at a high level. So first, the program itself. Montgomery County Active Volunteer Real Estate Tax Rebate Program allows active volunteer firefighters and not-for-profit emergency medical service providers to qualify for a county real estate tax rebate up to 100% of the tax amount. Who qualifies? The active members of a fire company or a not-for-profit emergency medical services agency volunteering for an eligible agency located here in Montgomery County. The volunteer must be a homeowner or a residential property located in Montgomery County, and it must be current with the county real estate tax bills and assessments. Next slide. So before I talk about some of the details of the program, this is a chart that we typically present in our budget, and I thought it would be helpful just to outline the impact of the program and real estate taxes that are paid by single-family dwelling owners. So you can see highlighted in the yellow, the average single-family dwelling in Montgomery County has a market value of $481,000. They pay approximately $818 of real estate tax annually towards the county operations. If you look at the column to the first column that shows property market value, you can see that between $200,000 and up to $800,000 of market value represents about 85% of the overall county single-family residents. Next slide, please. So the primary goal of the program is to encourage membership and service in the county's volunteer fire companies and EMS agencies. The number of volunteer firefighters in Pennsylvania is currently estimated at 30,000. Back in the 1970s, you can see that number was 360,000, according to stats provided by the state. So volunteer fire companies throughout Pennsylvania are challenged with recruitment and retention, and financing too. I mean, obviously, the funding of a volunteer fire company comes from various sources, and the expenses that go with it, with apparatus, training, equipment, it puts a lot of pressure on a not-for-profit agency. Montgomery County has about 101 volunteer fire and EMS EMS agencies servicing 483 square miles with approximately 3,000 total firefighters and EMS volunteers. In 2023, these agencies responded to just over 113,000 emergency calls countywide. Next slide, please. The county's proposed program has been developed based on the program guidance that's been provided by the Pennsylvania Fire Commission's office, and it fully complies with Pennsylvania's Act 172 and 91. Eligible volunteers will earn a tax credit based on an established criteria and point system that's outlined in the ordinance in front of you. Volunteers have to earn a minimum of 50 points, up to 200 points annually to be eligible for a real estate tax rebate. The agency supervisor is required to post a notarized list of volunteers and detail points earned by January 31st following a completed calendar year of service. Next slide, please. The agencies are required to keep detailed records of the points earned for a period of 3 years. That's subject to audit by the County Controller's Office. Our initial program period will be the calendar year 2024, so it'll be between January 1st and the end of the year. Upon completion of this calendar year, volunteers must submit a county application for the refund program. It requires review and approval first by the agency supervisor, and then submission to the county chief financial officer for review and approval before real estate tax rebate will be provided. Next slide, please. So just to sum things up, the program point system, which is outlined in the ordinance, and this is just high level, there's approximately 6 categories that volunteers can earn points in. And you can see emergency response calls, that's direct response to a fire, an emergency, training, meetings, fire prevention and public education, leadership roles and other activities. The specific actions are outlined in the ordinance, and then the point system as well, which can be anywhere between 1 point up to 10 points. Just to show you what the estimated real estate tax rebate could be for a volunteer qualifying with various levels of points achieved, based on the average single-family dwelling, as I mentioned earlier, pays approximately $818 real estate tax annually. You can see at the minimum, if they were to achieve 50 points, they would receive a 25% rebate, approximately $200, and then the scale moves up to a total of 100% if you earn 200 points. So that pretty much covers what's in the ordinance at a high level and how the program will be implemented.
Thank you for your work, and Maureen for helping to put everything together. So we'll move on to public comment. Do we have any public comment?
Yes, first up is Andrew Rathbun.
Okay.
Andrew, what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last name.
Rathbun, R-A-T-H-M-O-N.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Andrew Rathbun. I'm the chief of the Fort Washington Fire Company, an all-volunteer fire department in Upper Dublin Township. Thank you for inviting us here today. In 2018, the Pennsylvania legislature sponsored a committee to research reduced membership in volunteer fire and EMS agencies across the state. The famed SR6 report, which was produced by the committee, stated, according to the Pennsylvania Fire and Emergency Services Institute, the number of volunteer firefighters in Pennsylvania has shrunk from 300,000 in the 1970s to about 60,000 in the early 2000s and to 38,000 in 2018. Montgomery County is not immune from this phenomenon, as nearly every municipality has experienced the same reduced volunteerism. In June 2018, the Fire Services Study detailed report conducted by VFIS on behalf of Montgomery County acknowledged the staffing crisis in the volunteer combination fire rescue EMS system. One of the recommended corrective actions made by VFIS was to establish tax relief incentives to help recruit, retain, and hold members accountable to professional standards. Commissioners, by adopting this proposed ordinance, you will be taking a proactive step in reversing the volunteerism trend. As a result, this initiative will keep fire suppression in our community both cost-effective and sustainable. I'll end with this. If you're wondering if this ordinance will have the intended effect, just turn to my company. Upper Dublin Township Commissioners just voted in December to adopt their own local rebate on municipal taxes. Already in the first month of 2024, I've seen better attendance at drills, meetings, and calls. We appreciate your continued support, and thank you for the time and consideration to
Thank you for being here.
Up next is Blaine Lace.
Good morning, Commissioners. I don't have food, music, mascot, just
It's okay.
volunteers are out there doing a good job. My name is Blaine Leach. I'm the volunteer fire chief of Gladwin Fire Company, which is in Lower Marion Township. For my career, I'm a public safety official for Upper Marion Township, so I represent 2 municipalities that are in favor of this. In Lower Marion, we have 7 volunteer fire companies, and Northern Ambulance, which is our EMS service. So we would all benefit from this. It is no secret, like my colleague just stated, that the volunteer fire and EMS service has been on the decline for many years. This is a problem that started well before any of us started, maybe even before a few were alive even. And we've been working aggressively to try to fix that with swag, as I heard earlier, t-shirts and license plates and hats and parking permit programs to entice the volunteers to volunteer. While those things are all needed for company pride and the leadership, getting people motivated to run into burning buildings in the middle of the night, it just really doesn't have enough teeth to keep people coming back and joining the volunteer fire service, because it is a big commitment. We know that as we move in life and get older, things get busier in life, and it's hard to keep people that we've trained and mentored for years active in the volunteer fire service. So, some numbers for the Lower Marion portion of this. In Lower Marion and Northern, we initiated a municipal-based tax incentive back in 2018. I believe we were one of the very few first ones to do it, and our township commissioners did vote it in without too much trouble because they found the value of it. Back then, it was at a 20% rebate, and it was nice. It still just didn't have the teeth to keep people coming and joining new in the fire service, if you will. In 2022, some of the legislation changed and they could provide 100% rebate. Our township jumped on that chance and provided that 100% rebate to all of our volunteers who were active and met all the requirements as was indicated in the slideshow. We weren't done with that. We said to them, it's time to now go to the school board. All right? If we're going to promote volunteerism in the fire and EMS world, we need to make sure that whatever the program is has teeth and actually is a real benefit to people volunteering their time. So we approached the township school board in Lower Marion, and last year we were awarded a $1,500 rebate towards our school taxes in Lower Marion and Northern. We're not done. All right, our commissioners are not content with that. They're going to continue to push until we get a much larger, sizable rebate through the school board. After that, we approached the County Chiefs Association and said, it's time to approach the county commissioners, and this is something that we've done for many years. It just never really got anywhere, and I'm honored and proud to be in this room not even a year later when we started this process. So to you guys, thank you very much for listening to us. And like Andy said earlier, does this program work? Yes, it works. In 2018, when we started in Norman, there was 25 people eligible for the rebate. We're up to 46 now. All right. Understanding that Lower Marion is an expensive place to live, and most of our volunteers have trouble living there because of the expensive thing. This literally will bring it together where maybe you could afford a house that you would not otherwise be able to. So finally, we believe that if we are fortunate enough to gain your support in this initiative, we believe that it can start the dialogue with those municipalities who don't already have a tax incentive, and allow all of our compadres throughout Montgomery County to maybe open the door and provide a better tax incentive for everybody in the county itself. Thank you for your time and consideration in this valuable ordinance that will no doubt help the volunteer fire and EMS service in Montgomery County.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next is Rob Carvolano.
Please. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Rob Carvolano. I'm the Deputy Director of Fire Programs for the Montgomery County Department of Public Safety. I'm also a 20-year volunteer firefighter in Lower Marion Township with Chief Leeds. I'm pleased to be here today to speak in support of this ordinance to provide a tax rebate for fire and emergency medical services volunteers. These volunteers are providing an essential public safety service to our communities and save the taxpayers of the county tens of millions of dollars per year. For example, Montgomery County, Maryland, a very geographically and demographically similar county that operates a combination fire department with both career staff and volunteer firefighters, has an annual fire department budget of over $250 million. As the previous speakers noted, the volunteer numbers in the Commonwealth have continued to dwindle. We've seen this firsthand at the Montgomery County Fire Academy. In 2013, we saw 1,725 individual firefighters come through the Fire Academy for various training programs. Last year, that number was down to 1,323, a decline of nearly 25% in 10 years. These challenges to recruiting and retaining volunteer fire and EMS personnel require creative solutions. As Maureen mentioned, the tax credit programs were enabled by legislative action at the Commonwealth in 2016 and expanded to include the school districts and counties in 2020. These programs have been successful in encouraging volunteerism in our communities, and I want to thank you all for collaborating with emergency services personnel in developing this ordinance and for your continued support of the volunteer emergency services in Montgomery County. I also encourage everyone that's here and the commissioners to work with our municipalities and school districts to expand these programs into other areas of the county. Thank you for your time.
Great, thank you for being here.
That is all for public comment.
Great. All right, so I'll make a motion to, motion to adjourn the active volunteer real estate tax rebate ordinance hearing. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner DeBello. You didn't sound very confident there.
Second.
Okay. Any board comment? Moving all to a vote?
I'm sorry. All right.
We're just adjourning the hearing.
Right,
Okay.
because I did have a
Yep,
question. but-
that's
Yep.
okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
For the adjournment, okay. Next up, I'd like to invite our solicitor back up to go over the ordinance for our approval.
Yes, thank you. Well, you can, the hearing's
Yep.
concluded. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Did you have any questions regarding?
Any questions?
Just you have here on the slide here, the slide 8, upon completion of the calendar year, so the volunteers have to apply annually, or is it an extensive application process, or?
Yeah, so with the first year of implementation, this is how it would go. They would earn their points in this calendar year. They would apply in January through their own agency first. There's going to be an application that has to be certified and authorized by the agency supervisor, then that would be submitted to the county, myself, for review and approval, and then a rebate would be issued. There is a time frame that will happen between January and February. So the rebate would likely be issued sometime by the end of February, after you got through that process.
So, but the application process it's the same application every year then that they would have to file?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then quick question as far as I'm not sure what the actual number is that we're going to see, but are we going to be able to turn that around quickly?
Yeah, we will. We'll make sure we have the resources to do that and the systems in place now that we have time to prepare for it. You're right. The example of Lower Merion that we just heard, it's roughly 25%, 44 volunteers of their force. So, it's hard to estimate what we'll have countywide, but that gives you one indication of a municipality that has, 7 different agencies.
Right. And then this isn't going to require additional staff for the county to have to hire to administer this, is it?
We don't anticipate that. No, I think we can figure out the resources and systems to make sure that we can expedite it.
And there's been other counties that have implemented this similar program?
Yes.
Did you want to mention that?
I believe in our just surrounding counties, Bucks, Chester, also York County, Northampton County, have all enacted similar.
I think Allegheny County, sizable counties in the process of doing that as well.
Yep. Great, thank you.
So I have one question. So we had received a comment from Commissioner Lower Merion, Dan Bernheim, about how we could consider those in military service, either in the reserves or active duty, and helping them reach the point goals that are required. Can you talk about if we've added that and how it applies?
Yes, we actually reached out to Lower Marion and got the language that they are using and to talk and got their feedback on the benefit that they have of including that. And what we've added is that if someone is in active military or reserve status, they can get credit for each call responded to by their home company and for each home company drill missed. And we were also asked to put a limit on that, which we did, of 75 points.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions? All right, I'd like to get a motion on the table to approve the ordinance as described by Ms. Maureen Calder. Is there a second?
Second.
Great, seconded by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? So I would just like to say, first, thank you all for your service. I know stepping up to the call to protect public safety is one that you all don't take lightly, and you keep our neighborhoods and our families safe. And so this is one way that we could give back a small token of our appreciation for all the great work that you and your volunteers do day in and day out to keep our communities safe. So thank you all for being here to represent the whole, and we're really hopeful that many will take advantage of this tax rebate. So thank you. Any other comments?
Yes. Well, first, I just want to thank the solicitors team and the office for doing this excellent work. It was really great to see it come into fruition, and I know you had additional meetings and meeting with other leaders, whether it's municipalities or firefighters and EMS, to make sure it's the best that it can be. So I'm very proud that today, should we pass this, and I expect we will, that we will become the largest county to provide 100% county property tax relief to these critical members of our community. And again, thank you for keeping us safe and well 24/7, 365. I was astounded by the number of calls that are made every day here in Montgomery County. So I'm very grateful that we're able to take this step. And I also want to thank Commissioners Dan Bernheim, who's my commissioner actually, as well as me being his, he noted, who brought some of the details of this, including the military service provision, to our attention so we could include that. So thank you all.
I just want to thank all first responders for all their service to the communities. It's unfortunate that we see the dwindling volunteers, and hopefully programs like this will help maintain and actually grow your departments. I mean, it's definitely, we need the people, and hopefully this will help. I also want to recognize, I believe, Commissioner Winter, you brought this up in December, I think, right?
Yes.
And I just want to commend the staff for taking, this concept. I'm not sure if it was worked on prior to you bringing it up in December or not. I don't know the history.
I think they had talked about it.
They talked about it, but
yep.
it just demonstrates that that this was brought up early, I guess it was early December and all that, and we quickly when we get sworn in, we quickly saw this as a wonderful opportunity to support our community and take Commissioner Wender's ideas or concepts, and we carried it forward very quickly, because I think this is going to be extremely helpful for our community. So I want to thank you, I thank the commissioners, and thank everyone for all their support.
Great. Thank you for your comments. All right, so we'll move on to a vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We now have a tax rebate, so thank you. All right. Maureen, if you could stay up here for the approval of an amendment to the public comment guidelines. And we can just,
I believe we have reviewed the fact that the public asked for an opportunity to have increased time in speaking at each meeting. And so this requires a formal action, a formal vote on changing our guidelines for public comment.
Great, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 1 as described by Ms. Maureen Calder. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next up is Commissioner's appointment to the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission. I'd like to make a motion that Neil Makija be appointed as the Commissioner's representative to the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission, and to designate Scott France, Executive Director of the Montgomery County Planning Commission, as the first alternate to Commissioner Makija, with Matt Edmund of the County Planning Commission serving as a second alternate. All such appointments serve at the pleasure of the county commissioners and in accordance with the current duly adopted bylaws. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Go ahead.
I'll just add that I really enjoyed meeting with Planning Commission this week, and look forward to working with Scott and the team on this appointment, and thank you for the commissioners for supporting this. Thank you.
Great. Moving on to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, Commissioner's appointment to the Schuylkill River Passenger Rail Authority. I'd like to make a motion that Thomas DeBello be appointed to the Schuylkill River Passenger Rail Authority for a term that begins immediately and expires on January 1st, 2027, serving in accordance with the current duly adopted bylaws. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Makija. Any board comment?
I'm really excited to be able to be appointed to this board, and I look forward to providing ongoing updates and representing Montgomery County as well.
Great.
Thanks.
Glad you're on it as well. All right, moving on to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, I'd like to invite Catherine Halen, our Chief Human Resource Officer, to review our personnel list.
Good morning, Commissioners. You should have in front of you the final copy of the Commissioners Department's personnel list. It is a 3-page document dated February 6, 2024, with a timestamp of 10 a.m. All positions have been reviewed and accounted for and are presented for your consideration.
Great, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the February 7th, 2024 personnel presentation as given by Ms. Catherine Halen. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Makija. Any board comment? Hearing none. Moving on to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the advertisement of bids and RFPs for Montgomery County as attached in Exhibit A. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Next up, awards of contract. I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract awards, amendments, and renewals for Montgomery County as seen on attached Exhibit B. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Makija. Any board comment?
I just, a couple quick comments. I know you're in a hurry to get to your.
No, we're okay.
But there's 3 items on there, 17, 18, and 19, I guess, that are all part of election services coming up for this year. The one in particular is 18. I just want to point out that this is just a maintenance agreement and the replacement of any bad batteries and stuff like that. And item 19, this is election voting system support from the Dominion company. Although that I still have a lot of questions related to the whole election process and the election equipment. I will probably, over the next couple of months, be bringing these questions at our election board meeting or at these meetings. But I think it's also important to point out on this vote that we're already under contract with the voting equipment, so this is to provide services and hardware updates and everything else. But one particular item that I hope that moving forward, and I'm not sure if it exists or not, but under election support, we bring in contracted services, somebody to come in from Dominion to be here as a consultant, I guess you would call it. One of the things I want to make sure that's in place that isn't in place moving forward is that there's what we'll call operational procedures for that consultant and what they are, pointing out what they're allowed to do and not allowed to do while here on site, especially around the voting equipment, as well as any type of ballots, anything associated to the overall process. They're really here as a consultant to support the equipment. And again, I'm not sure if something like that exists or not, but I want to make sure moving forward that we do have that in place, that we're clearly defining what the responsibilities of that consultant is.
Thank you for your comments. Moving on to a vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, awards of contract, Southeast PA Regional Task Force. I'd like to get a motion on the table to approve the contracts, awards, amendments, and renewals for the Southeast PA Regional Task Force on attached Exhibit C. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comments? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Public comment. Who do we have?
Yes, up first we'll have Michelle Mahor.
Great, thank you for waiting.
Michelle Miller with Payne Township, take two. Anyway, thanks again for some congratulations. I'm here because I grew up in Philadelphia. The neighborhood I grew up in was a great neighborhood. Not so much anymore, which 19 years ago I could see the writing on the wall, and I brought my 3 kids and we moved to Montgomery County. Within the past year, it's been pretty scary. My neighborhood's starting to turn. I live in a good neighborhood, like I said, with Payne Township. Within the last year, there was a shooting at the local bowling alley within a mile of my house. I received 12 text messages that night. Are you and the kids okay? Because, we frequent the place. Just a couple months ago, the house up the street from me was burglarized. And for me, the most concerning of what's happened in the past few months, around the corner from my house, there's a playground. An 11-year-old boy was, they tried to lure an 11-year-old boy into a car. That terrifies me. Subsequent to that, my daughter, driving same area, witnessed a man there with his door open, standing by his car, pleasuring himself. We called the police. They were unable. She was shocked. She got a make and model of the car, didn't get a license plate number. He wasn't apprehended. So I'm just asking you if we could please work on crime. I've seen the decline because we've had
and hopefully we'll be able to address a lot of this moving forward.
Any comments?
Yeah, I'll just add on to that. Thank you for coming to share your experience, and sorry to hear that. I met with the district attorney yesterday, and last meeting, we approved a $2 million allocation to help modernize data and the way that they work, the DA's office works with the police departments, and those kinds of things seem, administrative or back end, but they really help tackle crime overall. And so we're going to continue to invest in those kinds of things and give you updates on that.
Well, we had a jam-packed meeting, but hopefully all the information that the public learned about was helpful. So I'd like to announce upcoming meeting date. Our next meeting will be Thursday, February 22nd at 10 a.m. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the February 7th, 2024 meeting of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, let's bring up our controller for salary board.
I'm going to test, yeah.
It's a test. All right.
This morning.
Do we have any public comment for salary board?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, great. All right, I'd like to invite Catherine Halen up to review the salary board list.
Good morning, members of the salary board. You should have in front of you the final copy of the salary board list. It is a 3-page document dated February 6, 2024, with a timestamp of 10 a.m. All positions have been reviewed and accounted for and are presented for the salary board's consideration.
Great, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the February 7th, 2024 salary board presentation as given by Ms. Catherine Halen. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comment? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the February 7th, 2024 meeting of the Montgomery County Salary Board. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner DeBello. Any board comments? Hearing none. We'll move to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Not used to eyes. Not used to the eyes yet.
What?
No.